So as much as we can vote as young people, as my colleague said, only 40% of young people only participated in the voting. Majority of them, you find out they don't feel that they're included.
My lesson or my takeaway would be that we must truly understand how powerful we are together, and we must truly appreciate where we can go if we want to go together.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's One Mark coming to you with yet another video. Welcome to the first episode of Empowering Youth Voices. This is a series where young people get to share their opinions on the electoral process of South Africa and youth participation in the election. Today's conversation bears the question, does youth participation in the elections bring about meaningful change? Before we get into the video, don't forget to like our page so you don't miss the next episode.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely of the understanding, of the opinion that voting is a key element of our democratic society. And so I think as young people, it's not only our right but a responsibility to actually go out and vote, because we know what the vote is worth. We know how hard people had fought for the votes and for equal representation in spaces of governance. And so for us not to go out and vote would be a betrayal of that very sacrifice. And so I do think we have a long way to go as a nation, but not voting is regressive and counterproductive. It does not, it's not beneficial in any way whatsoever. And so I do think it is key that we actually do go out and vote and make sure that our voices are heard.
It will only be meaningful when different political parties who are contesting the space are bringing forth meaningful policies that will impact the lives of young people. So as much as we can vote as young people, as my colleague said, only 40% of young people only participated in the voting. Majority of them, you find out they don't feel that they are included in whatever policies. We talk about local government elections, municipalities. Are they bringing policies on the table that seeks to address challenges of young people moving to provincial or national elections? So the meaningful part, we have to have pro-young people policies. That speaks to, recently we saw 74% of young people are unemployed. Then if you bring a policy that seeks to address that, then you are inviting young people to actually see the meaningfulness of participating in the election process. Then my then saying it's yes, young people must vote. Then even the organizations that would want the vote, they must also attract young people to themselves. They must bring policies that seeks to address the issues that are faced by young people on the daily basis in South Africa.
I think it's very important to vote because we also need to take into consideration the sacrifices, the people that died for us to finally have this right and the freedom to vote. And it's also our responsibility because we're then responsible for choosing who's going to represent us. So if we choose to sit and not vote, then whoever gets power will then do whatever they want, and then there won't be much progress, especially for youth and young people, youth in South Africa. So it's very important for us to make our voices heard, to vote, and make sure that we use that right to vote properly so that there can be meaningful change in our lives.
The one thing that I've learned out of the previous generation was that they had much hope for change. And our generation, there's a lack of change, and the hope is the glue that's going to keep everybody together. Even if there's a group, if there's no hope, there's no common goal to move forward. So I think as soon as we can realize that there is hope for South Africa, there's hope for each and everyone in our society, then only we can start to move forward.
I think that the most important thing as young people must be selfless, selflessness. Put the struggle and not our own self-interest. I think that's one thing we should learn. The youth of 76 was not preoccupied with having certain material benefits. But again, we are living in a more of a capitalist economy and society where materials are the ones that actually determine our social relations. So also in that context, as young people, we have to look at the broader society and how it's being shaped by the so-called capitalist free market economy and how it has impacted our social relations as young people.
I think we must acknowledge in 1994, what we received was political representation. What we fought for was political representation. True freedom means access to means of production, means access to opportunity, equal access to capital, especially within a capitalist society. And so I think, to contextualize where I'm coming from, I must acknowledge that I must acknowledge the importance of voting rights. And in saying that, voting for an idea, I think ultimately when we vote, we should vote for the idea and for the ideology that exists within an organization and so on and so forth. We cannot not acknowledge the effect that an individual, say the presidential candidate for example, will have on the perception of that organization. But at the end of the day, I do think we need to place more emphasis as young South Africans on voting for the ideas.
I would just like to add on that is the point of a party and an ideology and a leader. I think personally a party with the best ideology and agenda is useless without the correct leader, and vice versa, the best leader without the party with the best agenda and ideology is also useless. So there must be the middle where we have a fantastic leader with the executives and the entire committee or whatever with the best political party as well in terms of the agenda which they can move forward.
Because there's so much corruption within parties and the government, it makes it a lot harder for us as young people. And I think that we shouldn't give the government that much or as much power that they currently have.
I think one thing we should not do as young people, want instant recognition. So immediately when you do something, then you want everyone to just like clap hands and what. I think contribute to the society as time goes on, and later on of the stages when you look back, people are going to recognize the impact that you would have changed.
I think also we need to ask recognition from who? As young people also, for us to get recognition, we need to support each other. We need to literally have each other's backs once again. You know, we need to start working together, start, moving as a unit.
I think my lesson or my takeaway would be that we must truly understand how powerful we are together. And we must truly appreciate where we can go if we want to go together.